The epitome of Mahayana Buddhism is non-duality. But when we hear non-duality, we're liable to misunderstand it. Because for us, duality is generally thought of in terms of the mind-body split. So we'll see non-duality is fixing that. However, the non-duality which the Mahayana talks about is not primarily a mind-body split. The duality which is to be overcome is the split between self and world, or interior and exterior. And one can see from that an immediate clarifying point. So healing the mind-body split leaves the primary dualism of self and world intact. However, healing that mind-body split that we characteristically have is a prerequisite for healing the greater split. And that's why it's extremely important that we do not regard meditation as being concerned primarily with consciousness. It isn't a mental phenomenon. It isn't something that we do with our mind. It's something that we do with our whole being. In most schools of Buddhism, meditation training is graded. So the Indians express this as samatha, calming the mind, and vipassana, which is insight. And normally you would be expected to learn and master various practices to calm the mind, so to bring focus, to do away with dispersion and distraction. And once you'd mastered that, you would go on to various insight practices. Zazen isn't like that. We have the one practice, but having that one practice makes us particularly susceptible to getting stuck in one stage or the other. So it's possible to practice Zazen in a very concrete way. So we're just sitting there and we're just relaxed, we're aware of our thoughts and feelings coming and going, and we're just sitting there tranquil in the familiar constructed world. But that isn't Zazen, because sitting in that way retains the primary dualism of self and world, which I mentioned a moment ago. Another difficulty is that we can misunderstand the level of our teacher's instructions. So if we are quite settled, then more instructions to settle ourselves. So the characteristic instruction of bringing our attention back to our breath or to our posture, those instructions are OTOs. But on the other hand, if we're quite distracted, instructions to do with insight are likely to be completely opaque to us. So Zazen is a bit like a contrast between somebody going into the house of meditation and requiring to settle into this one room of calming the mind, and then the door is unlocked and the practitioner can go into the next room. In Zazen, we're, as it were, in the one sitting, transported to and from various rooms, and we need to understand that. If we see that the primary duality is between self and world, then we can avoid thinking of either calming as calming this person, or as insight in terms of this person acquiring insight. So this person being wise or insightful or compassionate or whatever. And we can see that the insight is primarily an insight into emptiness, an insight into non-separation. So it's not a personal insight, because in itself that again is just reiterating duality in a different key. Taking all these things into account, we can start to comprehend the bizarre and fantastical language and imagery in the Mahayana sutras. And specifically, we can start to understand the idea that the world itself is a liberative force, that the world itself and the things and beings of that world are not standing in opposition to us, but are bodhisattvas. So all the things of the world, all the people of the world, in this perspective, are our teachers, our bodhisattvas. If we think that the purpose of sitting is for me to accumulate merit and then to go out and save all beings, I'm not a spiritual warrior, I'm a buffoon. But to change our perspective into seeing the liberative capacity of everything, and to receive that in gratitude, enables us, in response, to go out into the world from that position of gratitude and love. That's the bodhisattva.